All right, welcome once again. All Takes Valid, episode 37. As always, I go by Trill. Trey, joined once again with Spence, or SP21. And
He gets the floor to one time and he can't.
Vick. Shut up, Spence. Anyways, Vick, why don't you go ahead and give him a rundown for today's episode?
You can call me Vick, the champion, champion, but the fan.
Whoa,
Champion,
whoa,
Bucks fan over here, we are champions, we all champions over here, all Bucks fans.
Listen. I'm gonna tell. He's not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers may have won the Super Bowl, but when it comes to these picking ranks, I don't think you won.
Yeah,
you made the last pick.
I won the last one. Yeah,
you won the last pick. But remember who was 4-0 during the playoffs. Thank you.
I don't know who that is.
Moving on.
All I know is I won last, so that's all that matters. So,
what are the topics, sir?
To all our fans out there, disregard what this man has to say. We all know. But so today we have three topics. We have the quarterback musical chairs, who we believe is going to be traded to what team, followed by J.J. Watt. But mainly to say it's just a free agency, our free agency landing spots for all the upcoming ones that we have, which there's quite a bit of them, but we will only go by top five. And last, we got Shaq Barrett. He wants to break the bank. So to start off, I'm going to go with our quarterback landing spots, who we believe is going to go to what team, whether it's being traded, being released, and getting signed by another team, and whatnot. So that being said, Trey, what you got?
So a lot of rumors with a lot of different quarterbacks. Mainly, every day I see a new Deshaun Watson landing destination, but with that whole situation, that's tricky because the Texans keep coming out and saying, "Hey, we're not trading him. We don't know what he's not getting traded." Most recently, the owner just came out the other day and said straight up that they weren't trading him. He's our quarterback, but we'll see how that goes when this man starts holding out. So
the price is right.
If they're smart, you trade him before the draft so that you at least get some capital back. Because if you go into the regular season thinking, "Oh, he's just bluffing," and then let's say this man sits out the whole season, then what do?
You're stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck at that point. But as far as another quarterback, the Eagles, they had mentioned that supposedly they were going to have a deal done by last week, which it is now Saturday, so no deal came about for Carson Wentz. With him, I think they're kind of putting the price too high. They think they're going to get 2 firsts for him.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving you 2 firsts for Carson Wentz. I'm going to tell you right now.
One,
his contract is bad. 2, he's been hurt 3 out of his 4 years, and he's coming off of his worst season yet. So what about that tells you that we're giving you 2 firsts? Nothing. But for potential landing spots for him, which again, I do not think it'll be for a first-round pick. I think it'll be significantly less. They'll be lucky to me if they can get a 3rd from somebody. That's being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But the Colts still looks like the ideal landing spot for Carson Wentz just because of, the whole connection to former coach and everything. And obviously they do have a need for quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Other quarterbacks been heating up lately. There's been a lot of Russell Wilson discussion. He's obviously unhappy. And it's been said that the organization is unhappy with some of his recent comments about Seattle. Now, I think it's a long shot that he actually does go anywhere, but that would be crazy. As far as him, an ideal spot for him, which again, just based on him being in Seattle, it would never happen. But for me, a good landing spot for him would be San Francisco. But obviously, that's within division. the odds of that happening are very slim to none. The Texans, let's say they do trade Deshaun Watson. Right now, from what I've heard, it would be, if they were going to trade him, it would be to the Jets. They have the most, pretty much the biggest capital you could give them, which would be the second overall pick, along with a starting quarterback back in Sam Darnold. You might have to give up some other, well, I don't think they have any more assets. They pretty much traded or, released everybody else that's worth something on
What
the
side
team.
you're what side you're talking about? Offenses or just overall?
The whole team. Who's the best player on the team right now? Please tell me. Might be Sam Darnold, honestly. Because CJ Mosley's over there, but he's been hurt. Well, he was hurt, so I don't know how much value. I don't know how much value he has right now. So to me, Sam Darnold might be your best asset.
It's Sam.
It might be your best asset.
I forgot.
So for that, they would probably have to give up their first this year, their first next year, and Sam Darnold. And even then, that's probably not enough for Deshaun Watson if I'm the Texans.
To be honest.
That would be the ideal spot. That's a place that he already said he would accept the trade to. And I feel like if I'm the Texans, that's your best bet. Even if you don't, let's say you don't like Darnold, right? You're getting a second overall pick, so you could potentially get another quarterback. So to me, that just makes the most sense for all parties involved. And I mean, the Jets have enough cap space that if they were to get Watson, they can go acquire some pieces to, put around him. Other quarterbacks, Dak Prescott's future is up in the air. He is a free agent, but not officially because, yes, he can still be franchised for another year. So there's that. Jimmy Garoppolo is another person. They just did re-sign Josh Rosen to a 2-year deal. So all signs are pointing that they are either going to release or try to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. So, I mean, this whole QB carousel is exactly what it's called. It's a carousel. And until certain pieces start to fall, it's going to be kind of hard to really pinpoint where each person's going to go, where the dominoes are going to fall. The Colts is a big, like they have a need for quarterbacks. So any cornerback option, that's a good landing spot. To me, that's the best landing spot for a QB right now, depending on the caliber. Like if Deshaun Watson goes there, I can see AFC Championship first year, maybe Super Bowl, but at least AFC Championship. You put Deshaun Watson on the Colts. Again, it's in division, so the odds of it happening slim to none. But even Dak Prescott, I think if you put Dak Prescott on the Colts right now, I feel like they can contend for, a AFC Championship. It's now a Jimmy Garoppolo goes there, a Carson Wentz. My expectations aren't as high for those quarterbacks. But depending on the quarterback that goes there, the Colts is right now the best landing spot for a QB. They're young on both sides of the ball. They're already a playoff team this year, and they are in the top 5 in cap space. So they are definitely going to make some moves in free agency as well. So if I'm a quarterback, I'm trying to get to Indianapolis. But as far as trying to take a real guess right now on who's going to land where, at this time, it's kind of just hard because a lot of these QBs aren't technically, free agents per se. There's a lot of rumors that they're looking to move this guy or trade for this guy, but for the most part, everybody is under a contract right now. So it's kind of hard to distinguish that. But I will say for a fact that the Colts are going to make a play for a quarterback. I mean, they drafted Easton last year, but I'm not so sure that. I feel like their team is set up to win now. I don't think they want to take a risk on Easton. I think they're going to try to bring in a veteran somewhere. But
all right.
Well, with the quarterback musical chairs that everybody wants to do the salsa with, there's like you said, there's a lot of teams that both, like you said, Vic, that or trade that most teams are going to have to trade for. Most people just gotta sit and wait to see how other teams react. For like Dak, we still have to figure out if he's actually going to be a free agent or if Jerry Jones is going to now we're gonna franchise tag you. So we got to see how that goes. It's like, also we got to the Wentz situation. I mean, the Colts, of course, will probably be his biggest choice because, like you said, he's for a quarterback, for a coach that he used to be under, so he knows that kind of offense and everything. And I don't think he wants to do the Bears because I don't think he's still having trauma for the Super Bowl thing. So you don't want to see the guy that you lost your job that has a statue in the city that you have to walk past every day. Yeah, you don't want to see him again. So I don't think that's gonna work. The Watson thing. If I'm the Texans, look, I get it, but we just got to chop up and take the L, man. Y'all got to rebuild. Y'all holding a man. Y'all didn't want to trade him so you can at least acquire some picks. So when he said, "Yo, I'm just want to leave," and everybody's like, "Okay," I'm like, "Okay." So what now, guys? Because now you have a quarterback that might not play. He really might just sit out, and you don't have one of the key defensive players on your team. Now you're just gonna bum out, and you have no picks. You have none, and you're off to bum out. Okay. The Russell thing, I don't know why Seattle's mad about Russell tweeting about, oh yeah, this organization is all this and that. Yo, let a guy get tackled almost 400 times in 9 seasons.
Yeah, and they say that's actually the most in history for 9 seasons for any quarterback, which is kind of crazy.
For any quarterback.
There's been some bad O-lines over the years in football. Now,
right.
The only retort to that for me though is how much of that has to do with Russell Wilson too, because he's a scrambler. So you do take more sacks trying to extend the play. So some of that is on Russ.
Right.
But 400 is still such a crazy number. That can't all be on Russ.
It's a lot. Right. That's a lot. Now, here's the thing. Think about it. That's a lot for your Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's a lot.
Yeah, he's looking at guys like Brady and Breeze, and if he wants to play until his early 40s, he can't.
If he wants to play like,
he can't keep getting hit like that. If he wants to
play till Tom, if he's trying to play till like Tom, he can't get hit like this. So yeah, he's gonna be pissed. Yes, I'm pissed. I'm your lead. I'm your quarterback. I am your franchise quarterback, and I am the most tackled in the NFL. That's crazy. That's crazy, especially in the division they're in. That's crazy.
Yeah, O-line should be your top priority in NFC.
That should be your top priority. No, look at no running backs, no wide receivers. No, I need a line. Give me a line. You can fix all of that. Other than that, man, I mean, do I want him to see him South Beach? Of course. Orange and teal and sunbathing is great, guys. Don't worry about anything. But realistically, I don't see them doing anything with Russell. I think they're gonna be mad at each other for a minute, but they're gonna sit down and talk like, okay, what's going on, and have a hash it out. Because if they really were like, oh yeah, we're mad at Russ, and they'll try to like give him away, who's their backup? Gino? Is it still Gino?
Yeah, I don't know who the backup for Seattle is.
Exactly. It's still Gino?
Yeah,
right.
Gino.
It's still Gino. Okay, it's still Gino. All right, Gino. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. They're not. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna do their separate ways, but they're gonna come back together on Valentine's Day. They're gonna come back tomorrow. They're gonna talk it out. Because they know deep down they ain't believe in Gino. Let's see. Broncos, they'll probably consider it. The Jimmy Garoppolo thing, I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, they just signed like Josh Rosen, so they might be looking towards a different aspect soon. But if I'm John, I think I'm trying to do the Aaron Rodgers thing, but I don't think it's going to work because Green Bay is not going to let him go that easily. But other than that, guys, I mean, the quarterback situation is kind of locked until like certain pieces move because we know some players are not going to be there because regardless, like Mitchell, he's not being a Bear. He's
Yeah,
gone.
okay.
And
So
the
I can
other
say for
teams, like
yeah,
some
I can
players,
say the Bears need a quarterback for a fact. I don't think they're resigning Trubisky.
yeah. Oh, okay. They, yeah. Yeah, just us. Oh, okay, we're still recording. Cool. Um, I don't see. I don't see. I don't really see a lot of moves yet, guys. Until like, until we, until
Yeah, I don't know who's the first domino that makes this all move.
right, right. It's really a sit and wait. It's kind of thing. It's really for quarterbacks. It's a sit and wait kind of thing. Because it was one shoot, one fall, everything's gonna go.
And Vic,
So it's just a waiting game.
All right, so I've been playing out different scenarios in my head, writing it down, trying to figure out who I think is going where. To be honest with you guys, I don't. Even though it would make all the sense in the world for the Jags and the Jets to make a move and get a quarterback, Jags, I believe they're gonna stay pat where they're at, and
yeah, I think they're taking Trevor
and
Lawrence hands
yeah,
down.
they're yeah.
Yeah.
I don't me personally. I feel like it's not worth it to one potentially lose out on a franchise quarterback, even though they can get it for sure. For sure fire. Hey, Sean Watson as your franchise quarterback going forward. But also, I look at it as the Jags. They have more than one hole, just like the Jets. Um, the Jags, they need to, my opinion, they need to stay put, draft Trevor Lawrence, and just have a great draft. Second, with the Jets, they have a quarterback right now, but I do believe that they're going to do a deal with another team that has a quarterback. So it's going to be like a swap, kind of like what
Mm.
the Lions and the Rams. I believe it's going to be something just like that. Just about finding the proper suitor for that. But again, I don't believe they're going to trade um, away their second overall pick for a quarterback. So um, one of my feelings I have is that it's kind of a dart shot, but I think maybe possibly for the Panthers, um, they may acquire to get Sam Bradford. Sam Darnold. Correction, not Bradford. Sam Darnold could be a potential landing spot for the Carolina Panthers. Even though, to me, with Carolina, I feel like they should stay put where they're at. That's why I don't really see them really trading for a quarterback, just because the head coach for the Carolina Panthers, he's known as a team builder. So what better way to build your team to not only through the draft, but he had a good draft last year, I could say, with all the defense that he went and
Yeah, he went predominantly like all defense
yeah,
just about that
all
draft.
defensive draft. And
Mm-hmm.
offensively, yeah, they do need a quarterback because there's been plenty of reports. Teddy Bridgewater is not the guy that they thought he would be to say, but I think they're gonna go with somebody that they can like a low risk, high reward. So somebody that if they do decide that they want to trade for him, it'd be like somebody like a Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold, where they can potentially maybe Sam Darnold. You might say I would say probably like second, third round. I'll probably say second round pick. Um, Carson Wentz, it'd probably be like what Trey said, third round pick. Maybe additional picks in the future, like a fourth and a fifth, something like that. Or maybe swap a few players, kind of like it's just something like that. So I think the Jets, they're gonna stay put where they're at. They're gonna trade away Sam Darnold, but
Hey, but so going back to that real quick, while we're on that, you could do something like a 3rd round pick and a receiver because Philly needs a receiver too.
yeah,
You give them, even though I like him, I think he's honestly probably their best receiver, but he didn't show it this year. Would be DJ Moore.
oh yeah, DJ Moore. Because I feel like they have some.
Because you got Anderson. Anderson stepped up big this year, and then obviously Curtis Samuel does.
Yep.
Like, he, if you trade for Wentz for that, and then send them Moore, who's like could be their number 1 in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Because you got Hurts. Obviously, if you're trading Wentz, you believe in Hurts to be your future.
Right.
And then I was looking at saying, like, for example, like I was talking off air with Spence. I said, hey, I know Dak had recently liked the football team's page on Instagram, I believe it was, or Twitter, and then he unfollowed it. Well, he followed and then he unfollowed it. But that's a whole, there's a whole boundary right there at the moment because we don't know what the Cowboys are going to do until I hear a report or I see an official report saying the Cowboys do not plan on bringing Dak Prescott back. Then, to me, I'm not going to really talk too much into it. But one man can hope, and I'm not saying somebody I can hope for this, but the football team was one of my teams that I felt like was going to win their division, and they did. It's one of the teams that I feel like is one quarterback away from, kind of like with the Buccaneers to some sense, but one quarterback away from getting them to a serious playoff contender. The Bears are another one. So if the football team can get Dak Prescott, him, Terry McLaurin, that offense that they have, I feel like it'd be a great fit. The defense, exactly. Or if like they come to an agreement, the Cowboys and Dak, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna sign the franchise tag, but we do a sign and trade, to the Bears, Broncos. Obviously, I don't believe that they'll trade to the football team, but we have seen interdivision trades like Donovan McNabb going to the Washington football team, probably at least 5 years ago. So it's like, it's a possibility, but I'm not gonna take that to the bank. The Colts, obviously, we've been all talking about this. Carson Wentz, even Dak Prescott, I have as one of the potential suitors if it's a sign and trade type of deal, or they let him walk. But
like I said, sure Dak can make them a serious Super Bowl contender in Indianapolis. The same way if they were to get Watson or something. Certain quarterbacks. Wentz, I don't think Wentz will take them that far, honestly. I'm just not that big on Carson Wentz, but give me Dak over there, give me Watson, somehow Russell Wilson gets traded, which, these, like you said, these are all shots in the dark at this point, like, because we don't know. Like, I feel like this is going to be a crazy offseason, especially with quarterbacks, but
it's going to be amazing.
Until the first domino falls, you don't really, it's hard to say.
So I also have for the Colts, it's a sleeper pick, it's a sleeper prediction that I have, but Marcus Mariota, potentially, low trade value.
Because the Raiders are talking.
Exactly. So
low risk, high reward.
Yeah, low risk, high reward. Obviously, we've been talking about the Bears with Deshaun Watson. I'm still rooting for him to get the hell up out of there because, I'm done with the Texans. I'll say this here right now: the Houston Texans, they were once one of my favorite teams that I like to follow. Like one of the teams I just follow. I just watch. I've loved Andre Johnson, Arian Foster. I mean, I just like the players that they've always had on their team, but they've just not really done so good, in terms of like success, winning a championship or just getting deep into the playoffs. I just like some of the players that they have. But I'm really disinterested in the Houston Texans. as a whole. Like I don't care about them. When Deshaun Watson got drafted by him, I was happy. I was like, they finally got a quarterback, and he did his thing. He balled out. Now everybody sees him as a superstar. He's a rock star quarterback. But Deshaun Watson, I hope you get out of there. Obviously, Andre Johnson, like D-Hop said, when that man speaks, he listens. So for the Bears, you have Deshaun Watson, Carson Wentz, another one. Again, that's they won't have to trade so much for Wentz, but I know the Eagles are basically swinging for the fences right now. Marcus Mariota is another one for the Bears, and then for the Patriots, I have potentially. Well, you've heard this already, Jimmy Garoppolo, but I've also, I don't know, kind of a dark shot. Marcus Mariota and Carson Wentz as potential suitors. I know Bill Belichick likes to finesse, as we all have seen him do throughout the past few years. So I feel like Bill Belichick may be going for somebody that he can get somebody for the cheap. And I think the Eagles, if they don't trade not Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, if they don't trade Carson Wentz by March 19th, then obviously they'll Carson Wentz is due for his $10 million roster bonus. So other than that, I know one of y'all hit on about Russell Wilson. If that becomes an issue, which I've heard that both parties are not happy with one another, and deservingly so, especially from Russell's side of the fence. I was thinking, because my Ravens, they're also shopping Orlando Brown Jr., which he's definitely going to command quite a bit of draft picks, I would say. At least
Russell Wilson for Lamar in Orlando.
No, that's not going to happen. And I wouldn't want that. Russell.
You don't want a real quarterback?
No, Lamar Jackson is a real quarterback. But Orlando Brown, you'll definitely get at least, I would say, 3 top 2-round picks. So, 2 top picks in each year. So it could be a first and second this year and a first next year, something similar to what Laramie Tunsil had got for the Houston Texans when he was traded from Miami to the Houston Texans. So I expect something similar to that. But either way, the Seahawks, they don't have the draft picks to do so just because they just traded away early this past season for exactly. So I don't know who it could be, but I know the Steelers, the Cowboys. Well, the Steelers is difficult because they have a cap situation. The 49ers could be a destination. Maybe the Cardinals could be a good spot because they do need offensive line, which we all expected them to draft offensive line this past season. They didn't do that. They went with Isaiah Simmons in the first round. You can look at which I would hate it, and they better not do it. But the Kansas City Chiefs may potentially need a offensive line because their left tackle, I forgot what his name was, but
you're talking about Eric Fisher.
He was Eric Fisher. He had a torn Achilles in the AFC Championship game. So usually those take almost up to a year, which it's gonna cut up around playoff time, close to playoff time when they get him back. So I think they need to address that offensive line, but the Ravens, y'all better not do it. Send them somewhere else. But just enough about that. It's just talking about quarterbacks. So that's who I got right now. Steelers, I don't believe they're going to trade for a quarterback. I feel like they're going to develop Dwayne Haskins. I feel like that's a great pickup for them, even though probably right now, I don't know how the Steelers fans really feel about that. I know Trayy told me about that a while back. But overall, in terms of their fan base, I'm not too sure how they overall collectively feel about that. Jets and Jags, I feel like y'all should stay put. I don't think they're gonna do anything too drastic to get another quarterback. If they do, I'd be surprised. So
So are you keeping Sam Darnold if you're the Jets and just building around him
I
finally?
would trade him to to another team that needs a quarterback. Draft your quarterback in the first round, and use whatever picks you can get out of Sam Darnold to build around.
Roger.
I firmly believe in team building.
Sam
So
Darnold to the the Bears.
the Bears would be
Sam
a good
Darnold?
spot. Oh yeah,
That's
I didn't
that's
have that on
that's
my
definitely
paper.
that's definitely an upgrade from Trubisky.
Trubisky, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have that on my paperwork, but I definitely that was a spot, one of the places that I had Sam Darnold going to. The
San
Bears,
Sam,
Francisco, San
Sam
San
Darnold,
Francisco and
Vikings.
Francisco,
Darnold.
yeah. San Francisco's a cheap, cheap
Sam,
spot.
what about
Um,
Vikes?
The Colts.
the Colts, yeah, Colts.
Vikings?
Lions, no. Vikings, no. Raiders, possibly. Uh, I just know they're back and forth from whether they're sold on Derek Carr or not.
Derek Carr to the
Steelers,
Bears.
no. Yeah.
I mean,
Football
it's better
team.
than Trubisky.
Football team would be a
Oh
good
yeah, the
spot.
football team needs a quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and then also we got to think about the Cowboys. We don't know entirely
Oh
what.
yeah, they are going to need a quarterback if they move off from that.
Yeah.
Oh,
With that being said, that's all that I have.
Derek Carr to the Cowboys.
Oh God! Yeah. If Sam Darnold goes to the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys will be all right.
Who cares if I hope the Cowboys don't have? I hope they lose Dak and don't get a quarterback. Screw the Cowboys. Sorry,
I
Cowboys fans
agree.
that are watching this.
Yep.
I agree.
You guys just make it so like I probably hate them more than like my division rivals. It's just because of y'all fan base. Y'all just make it so hard. You're so unrealistic.
Well, it's the fan base,
no,
and it's
no.
also Jerry Jones.
Yeah, the owner.
Jerry
Yeah.
Jones
It's
takes
Jerry
the
Jones.
icing on the cake.
But here's the thing: I will vouch only on one point only one thing for the fan base. Their fan base is kind of right because on paper,
Yeah, they're talented on every year.
that's supposed to be a team that's supposed to be in 4 Super Bowls out of 7 on paper.
Yeah.
But on field, nah.
Well, and I can't even say that's coaching because the
That's
owner
412.
steps on the coaching's toes. So it doesn't matter who your coach is if Jerry Jones is going to try to be involved in everything so much.
I'm trying to figure.
He takes a step back.
Here's my thing, and we're gonna move on. And Big, you got how y'all get mad at Jason of Jason Garrett who took y'all 8-8, but y'all went 6-10 this season.
So as much as I want to blame Jason Garrett, he did a good job for the Giants for the most part as offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it was so much him or again, Jerry Jones is the GM. He's the coach. He's everything. He's the owner.
He's the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator.
If he was young enough, he would probably try to line up on the field too. So I mean, he just tries to do it all.
I agree. And like I tell everybody that like I have a few friends, family members that are Cowboys fans. So as long as Jerry Jones is running that ship, I don't see the Cowboys winning another Super Bowl. Shit. Even, I don't know about Stephen Jones, but with Jerry Jones, as much as he likes to take charge and he doesn't allow the coach to coach and to handle, his team, he's always going to override the rulings on some roster moves or coaching decisions for gameplay and stuff like that. And you just see it, like the players, they automatically, if they don't like what the coach is saying, they go right to him. Like, it's like the mom and dad, and then you got grandma and grandpa, and Jerry Jones is, obviously grandpa, and they don't, the kids like, oh, I don't like how my mom and dad is treating me. And so they just go straight to the grandparents, and the grandparents go on the mom and dad, and how you think the mom and dad's gonna feel? Like, it's not going to be a good vibe. It's going to be a constant, problem to where it's just like, if the kids don't see that they can show you that they got your respect type of deal, or vice versa, it's just going to be a constant, battle
Back
of
and
power. So yeah, but they fired my boy Jimmy Johnson back in the day. The U, we all know.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good thing. It was a blessing for the Hurricanes. So
Yeah.
Right.
appreciate you, Jones.
Appreciate you, Jerry.
Appreciate
Appreciate you.
With that said, we can go on to the next topic.